Yesterday I did a video which I perhaps unfortunately called End Times. And I say the word unfortunate because these are actually not the end times. What we are living in is a time of rapid change. And for most of us, the ego is very threatened by rapid change. The ego likes stability. And the ego will struggle to find stability. So what the ego will do is it will try to find experiences or external conditions that it finds pleasing. But the problem with that strategy is that we live in a universe of change. Everything changes. Thoughts change, feelings change, relationships begin with great excitement. They sometimes end in great sadness. We have great jobs. We lose those jobs. And we assume that that is what life is. And we make that assumption because our identification is with change. So our life is full of ups and downs. And even though the ego craves stability and craves excitement as well, it is invested in a world of ceaseless change. And this is what the Buddha called life as suffering, his first noble truth. No matter how changing life is, and life will always have elements of great challenge. It'll have physical pain. It will have relationship challenges. It will have professional and work challenges. It's all part of that side of life. And thank goodness for that. If things were never to change, it would be extraordinarily monotonous. Consciousness loves this. It loves change. It is nothing but change. But amid all that change, there is a changeless, still point that is at the center. And all of the teachings of Buddhism, of Taoism, and of non-duality point us to this still point center. So there's no claim of originality in this video at all. The ego is fueled by one thing. It is fueled by lack. The ego is response to this lack, this enormous chasm we have inside us that needs to be filled. It needs to be filled with excitement. The next relationship, the next sexual encounter, the next vacation, the next drug hit, the next drink. We've all experienced it. For spiritual people, it's often the craving for the alleged fireworks of enlightenment. The only fireworks of enlightenment is the profound and pervasive release from the need to be someone who will be. So when we explore this sense of lack, it's always this identification not only with the changing circumstances of our lives, but in the future. Because the future holds that next hit, the next drink, the next vacation, the next sexual encounter, whatever it is. Examine that self. Is it real? Now let me give you an example. I love spinach. And actually I've always loved spinach. But there's certain foods and tastes that we have that do change. My tastes as a 5-year-old are very different from my taste now in food and music and art. No matter how stable those preferences and tastes may be, or no matter how changed you are in your life, there is a part of you that is aware of all of it and that has never changed. It is the part of you that is absolutely unidentified with any of the changing circumstances, not only of your personality, but of the elements of your life. It is the screen upon which all these changes and all these preferences happen. So our projection of a future life, even the next minute, appears on this screen. Now let me ask you this, and when you hear this question, be perfectly honest with yourself. Can you tell me in very specific terms what will happen in the next minute of your life? You may speculate, well, I'm very bored with this video, and the one thing I'm sure of is I'm going to turn it off. But you cannot experience the next minute of your life. It's impossible, not to mention the next hour or the next week. It is always very different from what we expect. The mind projects this scenario, and because it's so habitual, it's very comfortable in it. But it's unknown. This still point is far more accurate. The way we contact this still point and the way we reduce or sever our identification with this changing panoply of life, and this is, by the way, not a put down on life. Life is perfect exactly as it is. Even if there is pain, even if there's a relationship breakdown, even if you've lost your job, life is perfect. And it's not nearly so painful or not nearly so challenging when you're identified with what is truly you, this luminous screen where everything happens. So if you don't know the next minute, you just don't know. And the pointer there, which is so powerful, is we no longer use our brains, our mental faculties to figure this out. We just stop trying to figure it out because we can't figure it out. The ego uses the brain, the analytical faculties, to figure things out. And for nearly all of us, our analytical faculties are one of the weakest components of our personalities. We so often get it wrong. And yet we continue getting it wrong and getting it wrong and getting it wrong. In the Navajo culture, this is called the blue world, the world of trial and error. And as long as you stay in the blue world, you'll never experience the unity and the calm and the balance that occurs when we finally give up on this whole mental faculty of trying to figure things out and just work it out with our brains. It's such a burden to do that. See if you can see this thing where if your tastes change, what is the part of you that is aware of that change that hasn't changed at all? The you that was there when you were 4 and 5 is the very same you that is there now. There's absolutely no difference because it is characterless. It possesses no qualities except total openness. It is utterly open. So when we drop all that negativity and all that anxiety and projection, oh, what if my son doesn't get in this college? What if I lose this job? What if I don't get this job? What if this man or woman doesn't love me? We can't work it out with our heads, as hard as we try. There's a greater intelligence than our mental intelligence. All the teachings are agreed on that point. Try trusting those teachings for a little bit, and you will find balance in a universe of extreme change. It can be very harsh change, such as the degradation of the world's environment and the extinction of so many animals and plants. But a new world will come as well. There's always rebirth. Discover your own rebirth. Thank you.